Labour's open-door policy on immigration was based on the premise that incomers added about £6 billion a year to national output, inviting us to believe that we'd all be richer as a result. Yes, even today, £6 billion is a big number. The trouble was, another big number was never really taken into account: 200,000. That was the average annual net inflow of people from all over the world during Labour's immigration boom. Yes, economic growth is boosted by immigration, but the slice of GDP each of us receives remains, on average, about the same, because the cake has to be shared amongst so many more people. A House of Lords report in 2008 demolished Labour's case that GDP growth alone justifies very high levels of immigration.
Every pair of hands is also a mouth. Every person who is an active worker eventually grows old. So it's no use just saying because the economy is bigger, the economy is growing because of immigration. The real way to look at it is you must look at it in terms of income per head or GDP per capita. And if you look at it on that basis, then it's much more difficult to see what the benefits of immigration are.
So, overall, it seems immigration has no material impact on GDP per head. But that doesn't mean there aren't winners and losers. For the employer class out there, it's a boon. But for those at the bottom of the economic ladder, it can make life very much harder. If you're looking for a job in a coffee bar or a pub, there's plenty of competition from hard-working immigrants.
The group I think that has lost out has been less skilled people who are working in restaurants, cafes, things like this, service jobs of various kinds, and maybe certain agricultural jobs, because they've had to compete with people who are often more capable themselves, because you have to remember many immigrants are the more capable members of this society. So I think they've lost, I would say.
It seems odd that the Labour Party, champion of the poor, endorsed an immigration policy that created what Marx called a reserve army of labour, encouraging businesses to suck in cheap foreign staff rather than invest in training for domestic workers. And you may be surprised to learn that the Labour MP who joint chairs the Commons Committee on Immigration agrees with me.
You only have to talk to your upper middle class friends for them to actually expand why life has actually been transformed for them. You talk about to young mothers about the quality of the carers which they get. They thought this was such a good racket for them to be on. It must actually be good for everybody else, and that's it just doesn't follow sadly in those terms.
As a society, we're living longer, putting a huge strain on our pension system. Immigrants, we were told, are the key to fixing the problem. They're young, work hard and pay taxes, in effect footing the bill for Britain's retirement. But hang on a minute, what happens when the immigrants grow old? Who pays their pensions? I'm not saying there are no economic benefits from mass immigration. One only has to look at the staffing of the NHS to see the upside. No, my contention is that the last Labour government hugely overstated the fiscal positives while willfully ignoring the negatives. And the final bill for that political sophistry has yet to be paid. Jeff Randall, Sky News.